Hi, Fam. Today in class, we learned what it means to write and evaluate algebraic expressions. So we learned what an algebraic expression is. Algebraic expression it's a mathematical expression, right? Containing numbers and variables and some symbols. All right, so let me start with an example. Example 1. I would say 2x plus 3, right? We said there are two terms, 2x and positive 3. So there are two terms. We call a two-term expression binomial. And the terms are 2x and 3. Okay? And the variables, the only variable that you see in this expression is x. Constant is 3. Okay? And then one more thing was coefficient, which is 2. It's a number that sits in front of a variable where they are multiplied together. Okay? Let me give you one more example. Example 2 will be negative 2x squared minus x plus 4. Okay? How many terms are there? But what are the terms that you see here? You guys ready? They are negative 2x squared, that's one term. And then negative x, when you count the terms, you got to include their sign, okay? And positive 4. So those are the terms. So the terms are negative 2x squared, negative x, and 4. Okay? And this is 1, 2, 3 term expression. So we call such an expression trinomial. Next, what are the variables you see in this expression? It is x squared and x. We don't count the last term, which is just a constant, right? We talked about that constant is a fixed value, a number without a variable. And so constant automatically is 4. Coefficients are negative 2. Coefficients are the numbers that sit in front of the variables, and because they're multiplied together. And the other coefficient is this. That says negative x or minus x, but actually means negative 1. So those are the coefficients. Okay? And the next one was, so we have an expression. What if your expression says x plus 2? That's an expression, right? That's a binomial. Variable is x, constant is 2, and coefficient is 1. 1 right there. But we don't show that. Now, with that expression, what if I say, we call this x a variable. It's got the word to vary, right? The verb vary changes. So if I say x plus 2, I wanted to evaluate this expression if x is equal to negative 1. Which means, evaluate means you are plugging in the given value into the expression, original expression. So that will be negative 1 plus 2, which you can rewrite as 2 minus 1, same as 1. So x plus 2 is evaluated to be equal to 1 if x equals negative 1. Okay? Example 4. I can tweak this a little bit. Ready? It's negative x plus 2. I want to evaluate this if, or when x is equal to negative 2. That will be, because x is a negative value, I will be really careful with this negative sign in front. Just keep that negative as negative. And just plug in the negative value into x. That will be parentheses negative 2 plus 2. Did everyone see? Did everyone see what I just did? So you would plug in negative 2 into the variable, right? For the variable. Then whenever you plug in numbers, I want you to use parentheses, okay? And then we learned what happens when you have double negative situation. They turn to positive. Plus 2 is equal to 4. Ta-da! That's what it means to evaluate an expression. You have to end with a number answer. Example 5. Ready? I'll grab an example from your book. So I see negative 5, that is negative 5 and minus 13 if n is equal to negative 6, right guys? Again, n being a negative number, we'll be careful. Negative 5, they are being multiplied, right? Parentheses, especially because n value is a negative value, negative 6 minus 13. Is everyone following? You would just substitute negative 6 for n, and you would be sure to use parentheses, okay? Now, let's perform GEMDAS. You have multiplication and you have subtraction. What do? Multiplication first, okay? Subtraction is all the way at the end. So, you would multiply these two numbers. Keep in mind, we're not minusing 6 from 5. That is not what we are doing. We are timing negative 5 and negative 6. Negative number times another negative number, because there are two negatives, meaning double negatives, even number of negatives, will give you positive product, which is 30. And you just bring minus 13, which is 17. Okay? So 17 is the evaluation of negative 5 and minus 13 if n is equal to negative 6. So I hope you guys understand what it means to evaluate an expression with a given value. Next, then we learned how to translate, okay, English to math. Ready? English to math. For example, okay, I'm just grabbing problems from your book. For example, the sum, I taught you sigma, right? Sum of m and the opposite of 5. Let's take a look at some words. There are definitely hint phrases and words that you recognize and you know how to translate to mathematical terms. For example, sum, okay? That's an addition, isn't it, right? So the sum of m and the opposite of 5. What are you summing? You are summing, first number is m. I don't know what that is, but that's our first number. You're adding that, and what's the second number? Second number is the opposite of 5. What's the opposite of 5? Isn't it negative 5? So it is sum of, you're adding m and opposite of 5, which is negative 5. I will give you full credit for this one, but I will take this one as well, m minus 5. Simply because you have a contradicting signs right here, plus you are adding a negative value, therefore overall it's minusing. Okay? One more. How about the quotient of C and 25? You know the word quotient, it determines division. Okay? It means division. So it's pretty much what it's saying is you're going to have to divide C. If that's the first number, that's the dividend. Does everyone understand this? Quotient of, or quotient between C and 25, it means C divided by 25, which means C divided by 25. Okay? Either you say this, or you can even write that as a fraction, right? Either answer. Okay? Next. Example 8. Now we have a product of n and 17. You know, product means multiplication. What are you multiplying? It is n and 17. And therefore, it's 17n because you are multiplying. Next, example 9. Negative 12 added to 6 times z. Negative 12 added to 6 times z. We're following the order of operations, which is Jem does. You are adding negative 12 to what? 6 times z. 6 times z. 6 times z is 6z, isn't it? Right? So, negative 12 plus 6z. I'll take that. Which is same as 6z minus 12. I will take that too. Okay? Either one is fine. Next. Example 10. Mr. Moon just sneezed like twice. All right, so number 10. 9 less than 3 times n. All right? Now, it's a very common mistake here. 9 less than 3 times n is, you guys just keep saying that English expression to yourself. 9 less than 3 times n. 3 times n, translate that first. 3 times n is 3n. 9 less than, right? 9 less than, that will be, do you think it will be 9 minus 3n or 3n minus 9? Which one do you think it is? You guys think about it. This expression we're talking about is, number you have on your mind is 9 less than. 9 less than something? Wouldn't you want to subtract 9 from 3n, right? 9 less than. Yes. Number 10 says 1 subtracted from the product of y and 4. 1 subtracted from, if you look closely, 9 less than something, right? 1 subtracted from the entire expression after that. 1 subtracted from. You're subtracting 1 from something. What's that something? Product, which means multiplication of y and 4. It's not y4, guys. It's 4y. One more time. 1 subtracted from. You're subtracting 1 from some expression. What expression? Product of y and 4, which is 4y. You're subtracting 1 from 4y minus 1. Okay? That's it. That's what I assigned for homework. I mean, yeah, those are the odd numbers. So aside from what I assigned for homework, I hope they helped. Thank you. Good night.